All right, I'm back. Somebody let me know if y'all can hear me, if I've got the volume right or not. I know a lot of people were complaining last time. I'm doing the best I can with that, but if it's too low or not loud enough, tell me. I can try to turn it up some. Y'all just have to let me know in the comments section. If it's too loud or not loud enough or whatever it is, just let me know. What's up, Trey, Connor, Kyle, Richard, Jay, Master of Dreams, Hudson. Georgia about to get two more, we hope. Cade Mays and Brenton Cox coming up now. Cade Mays at 2:30, so any minute now. He'll be announcing five-star offensive lineman out of Tennessee, right down the road from Knoxville. So this a real shot to the Vols here that they lost out on this guy. Cade Mays was committed to the Vols for a long time, uncommitted. You know, when they really bottomed out this year, opened his recruitment back up. It seems to me like it's pretty much down to Georgia and Clemson for Cade Mays. I expect him to go with UGA. This would be another huge addition to the 2018 class to go along with Jamari Sawyer and Trey Hill. Georgia's really looking to beef up the offensive line. I talked about this in the earlier stream. It all starts there. It all starts up front. Big boy football is played in the trenches. These flashy guys are great. I love Justin Fields, Zeus. You know, these receivers, David Wilson, Chris Smith, these defensive backs. You have to have those guys. I get that. But without an elite offensive line, you have a ceiling. Georgia found that out last year, one of the worst offensive lines we'd had in a long, long time. Kirby has addressed that with the last recruiting class, and continue to pile it on here for 2018 with Sawyer, Hill, and now hopefully Cade Mays. Like I said, that's coming up any minute. It's supposed to be around 2:30. He's announcing at his high school in Knoxville. I'm going to try to find a stream of it to show you guys. And then we have Brenton Cox coming up at 3, which is another huge one that we need on the defensive side of the ball. That would really round out the day for UJ. What a day it's been for Georgia. We haven't lost any of our big-time recruits. We hung on to James Cook. There were some question marks about him heading into today. You know, he's been flirting with Florida State, took a visit down there. He went ahead and signed with Georgia today. Of course, Zeus, Justin Fields, the rest of the big boys, Jamari Sawyer. It's just been a great day for Georgia. Florida got the Emory Jones commitment, so that's big for the Gators. They really need a quarterback down there bad. Been struggling for going on a decade now at the quarterback position. I haven't been a believer in Franks and Del Rio from the beginning. Florida fans tried to be high on them in the offseason this past year, but we all saw how that worked out. Now somebody else is telling me about the volume. Now everybody else says the volume is fine, so I don't know. Try turning it up on your end maybe. I don't know what else to tell you. I can try to turn it up a little bit more. Shoe fly, don't bother me. When are you doing another Tell Me How You Feel? Tell Me How You Feel is not coming back in its original form. That's gone forever. I am doing a new live show now. I haven't decided on a name yet. I might just go with the UNCLELOU show. I will do some phone calls on that show, but it's not going to be only phone calls. And it's going to be on a set schedule, certain days of the week. I'm going to keep the Saturday morning stream. That's been pretty popular that I've been doing to go along with College Game Day every Saturday morning, even though the season coming to an end. I'm going to keep the Saturday morning stream, and I'm going to add a couple of more streams during the week. That's in addition to the streams I'll be doing at night, which is the NCAA EA Sports football game streams, the simulations that I'll be doing. We did Georgia and Oklahoma on Monday night, doing Clemson and Alabama tomorrow night. Those will be around 9:30, and I'll do those 2 or 3 times a week. And then I'm going to do the regular show, what used to be called Tell Me How You Feel, during the day, 2 or 3 days a week. And I'm still going to do the live videos where I just hold the phone and rant and yell and rave and act a fool for 5 or 6 minutes about different reactions and things like that. The Cade Mays recruitment is starting. So let me see if I can find a link real quick to pull up for you guys. Give me just a second, okay? I'm looking here. Jackson Harris was a tight end. He never really caught on. He sort of got lost on the depth chart. Not a terrible player, but just some beasts ahead of him on the depth chart, unfortunately for him. Let me see if I can find a stream of this Cade Mays. It's on. It's starting now, so let me see if I can find a stream for you guys. All right, I found one, so I'm gonna put it up on the screen for you guys. All right, 1 second. I'm going to pull it up for you. You're not missing anything. I promise. All right. Let's get to it. I'll turn the sound back up on this commitment ceremony when they start doing something. I'm not sure what they're waiting on. I think ESPN is televising this commitment, so they may be waiting on that. I'm not really sure, but as soon as they start to do, oh shoot, sorry, hit the wrong button. As soon as they start to do anything at all, I'll turn the volume back up on that for you. They're interviewing Kirby Smart on ESPN right now, too, and he looks pretty happy. I don't blame him. I'm pretty happy, too. They just said it's going to be 5 minutes until the commitment. So that gives us 5 minutes to argue in the comments section. So Brody says Tennessee is horrible. Brody, I tend to agree with that. The recruiting class is not going to be anything to write home about this year. They're going to be lucky to scrounge together a few 3- and 4-star players, and that's about it. Somebody said Florida's going to win the East next year. That's very unlikely. Who said that? Will Mack, Florida win the East next year. There you go, a joke. Yeah, that is a joke. Florida will most likely be picked 3rd, in my opinion, in the East for next year. I think South Carolina will be picked 2nd in the East. I think Georgia obviously will be the favorite to win the East again next year. We'll see. Those things don't come out to the summer. SEC media days in the summer. The preseason magazines usually come out in April or May. That's when you start seeing your serious predictions for next year. But you notice really the only people or the only fan bases really that want to talk about who's going to be favored next year or what's going to happen next year or anything like that. The only fan bases you hear talking like that are Florida, Tennessee, these teams that, I mean, their season is over, right? Georgia. Now, yeah, today's signing day, so we're talking about next year right now because there's something going on right now that's relevant to next year. But as far as talking about who's going to win the East next year and who's going to do that, Georgia's not worried about that. We're still playing this year, okay? Georgia season's not over. I don't know if you've noticed. Not sure if you caught that. I know some of you don't even pay attention to football. I can tell by some of the comments that I read on here on a daily basis. But Georgia still has games left to play this year. Games, that's plural with an S on the end. So it's just funny the fan bases that are always worried about next year already. When you still have all the major bowl games coming up, all the major bowl games still coming up. Georgia's we got playoff games, and you know, it's a Voltard and Florida Gator fan. All they can worry about is what might or might not happen next year. Now, Tennessee's been talking about next year since 2008, but this is something new for Florida fan. Yeah, they had that one bad year in the Muschamp where they went 4-8 or whatever it was, but this year was a total crash and burn. You know, fired their coach midway through the season. You know, they got Emory Jones. You know, they're doing backflips and cartwheels over Emory Jones, which he's a good player. I'm not knocking Emory Jones. He's a good player, and it's the type of quarterback Dan Mullen typically looks for. It's just funny to me to look at the fan bases that are already yipping about next year after they just had terrible years where they didn't even make a bowl game this year. Their recruiting classes are terrible. Neither Florida or Tennessee, either one, has a legitimate recruiting class lined up for 2018. Definitely not anything that compete with the Georgias, the Auburns, the Alabamas, even the LSUs of the SEC. I don't know. It's just funny to me. We still got about 2 minutes to go till the Cade Mays thing, and then I'll swap the volume around so we can listen to him. I'm fully expecting him to pick Georgia. If he doesn't, I'm going to be upset and disappointed. We need the guys up front. Cade Mays is a big piece of that puzzle. Vols blew it with him. Guy grew up in the shadow of Neyland Stadium, goes to school right outside of Knoxville here, some Catholic school or whatever, was committed to Tennessee forever and a day. They come out this year, look like they never played football before, just god-awful shutouts, 41-0 to UGA. You just get murdered by Bama. Another blowout loss to Vanderbilt. They've lost 3 of the last 5 to Vanderbilt. They're not even the best team in Tennessee. They're not even the second best team in Tennessee. Cade Mays decommits. It's very rare, honestly, for the state of Tennessee to even have a 5-star recruit as far as local from Tennessee. Tennessee just doesn't have the football talent of a Georgia or Florida or California or Texas or whatever. And they have one right in their backyard here with Cade Mays. He does the right thing. He commits to the hometown school of Tennessee. You guys crap to bed. Lyle, he's gone. You fire him. Pretend coaching search. You offer a job to 9, 10, 11 people. They all tell you thanks, but no thanks. Idiot Vols think they're getting John Gruden. Some people still think they're getting John Gruden. Peyton Manning, quarterback's coach. T. Martin, offensive coordinator. They're going to dig up the ghost of General Neyland, let him coach the defense. I mean, these people are just out of their mind. Tennessee's not a top 10 job. It's just not. It may have used to have been that way, but times they are changing. And Tennessee is just not the job that it used to be. It's just not. Kimo Sabi says, Georgia has one good season and Lou thinks they are a dynasty. You've never heard Uncle Lou say Georgia's a dynasty ever. You've never heard me say that. So, the facts are what they are. Georgia's in the college football playoff and your team's not. So, you can say Georgia hasn't had a good season in forever. That's a relative term. I'm not one of these people that thinks if you don't win the national title, your season is a waste. It's all based on expectations and who you are. Now, for Alabama, they've made the college football playoff 3 years in a row. They've won multiple national titles, over the last 8 or 9 years since Saban got there. They win the SEC more times than not. So what's a great season to Alabama is not going to be the same as what's a great season for Georgia. This is already a great season for Georgia. I know it might make a lot of y'all mad to hear that. I don't know. But the reality of the situation is Georgia's 12-1 SEC champs. We beat every single team we played this year. We had a loss, but we turned right back around and beat Auburn. So we've beat every single team we played, dominated most teams, to be honest. Close game at Notre Dame, but just completely destroyed and humiliated everybody else that we played, including Florida, Tennessee, Auburn in the SEC championship game. These games just weren't close. Mississippi State, we just destroyed every team that we played. I know your whole thing is 1980 or whatever. That doesn't mean Georgia hasn't had a good season since 1980. Georgia could lose the Rose Bowl 100-0. Guess what? Georgia still had a good year, and you didn't. And that's not changing anytime soon. Look at the trajectory right now of Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee, and just tell me what you see. You tell me. If I'm just a Georgia homer, what am I not seeing here? Why, as a Georgia fan, should I be worried about Florida or Tennessee next year? Why? There is no reason why. Yeah, Alabama's missed out on a lot of targets this year. Unusual for Alabama. I would be absolutely shocked if Alabama somehow found a way to finish with the #1 class this year. I know they've had the #1 class forever, and they tend to come on strong at the end or whatever, but a lot of their big targets have chosen other schools today. I think it's going to be hard for Alabama to finish #1 again. Now, they're still going to have a good recruiting class. Nobody's going to feel sorry for Alabama, I promise. No one. What are they? What's the worst Alabama's going to finish? 8, 9, 10 maybe? It's not like that's a terrible recruiting class. Ross says UJ needs more wide receivers. I agree. We haven't had an elite wide receiver in a long time. Now, currently, we have the top 2 wide receivers in the 2019 class committed to UGA for 2019. Now, that's not helping us now. That's not helping us in 2018. We did sign a couple of receivers last year who haven't played that much this year. We'll see if that changes next year. You know, you got Jeremiah Holloman, Matt Landers. These are big, physical, fast, gifted receivers that didn't see much, if any, playing time this year. That should see some next year. So we'll see. But I agree that Georgia needs to step it up in the wide receiver department. I completely agree with that. I mean, you look at Terry Godwin, he's 5'10". Mecole Hardman, 5'10". I like Javon Wims. It's hard for me to classify him as an elite receiver. I think he's a good receiver, a great receiver, but not elite. Okay, this thing's starting here. Here we go. Well, damn, he didn't waste no time, but he picked Georgia. He didn't waste any time at all. He just stood up and did the Superman thing. That was probably the quickest one. A lot of y'all complain all the time that these signing ceremonies take forever. This one took about 10 seconds. He stood up, he unbuttoned one button, he did the Cam Newton Superman thing, and he had the G underneath, and it's official. Cade Mays signs with Georgia, the 19th ranked player in America according to the ESPN 300. So Georgia gets another 5-star. The rich just keep getting richer. I'll turn it back up and let y'all listen to what he's saying.
I just feel like being straight up with people and not leading people on. So when I figured out that Georgia was the place for me, I felt out of respect for those coaches, I should call them and tell them thank you for their time. But I'll be attending Georgia.
All right, that's it. The video ended. So that's it for that. Well, Georgia gets another one. Cade Mays signs with Georgia. I mean, the rich just keep getting richer here. I'm looking at the top at the recruiting rankings right now. You got Ohio State sitting on top, Texas 2, Georgia 3, Penn State 4, Miami has fallen to 5th, Oklahoma 6, Auburn 7, Clemson 8. Georgia currently has 10 of the ESPN top 300 players signed to this class. Not committed, signed. So that's official. Can't back out now. One more to go today at least. Brenton Cox, his announcement supposed to be coming up around 3 o'clock. That's about 10 minutes from now. So we'll try to find us a stream of that when it gets closer to the time. But huge news for Georgia, landing another beast on the offensive line, Cade Mays out of Tennessee. I mean, Justin Fields, the #1 quarterback dual threat in America. Zamir White, the #1 running back in America. Cade Mays, the #3 offensive tackle in America. Trey Hill, the #1 offensive guard in America. Jamari Sawyer, the #2 offensive guard in America. That's just unbelievable. That's 5 players right there who are all in the top 2 or 3 at their position coming out of high school in America. You add James Cook to that, who most people have as the 4th or 5th best running back in America right now. And it's just an embarrassment of riches in this signing class for UJ. This is without question probably the most talented and highly rated UJ signing class since they started ranking these things 15 years ago or whenever it was. It's bordering on not even fair, to be honest. Now, of course, Uncle Lou's a trash talker. That's what I love to do. This is primarily a trash talk channel and a college sports channel. So I don't feel sorry for any of you other fan bases. Florida, enjoy Emory Jones, I guess. I don't know. You know, you don't have much else to look forward to. Tennessee, you have absolutely nothing. I mean, just nothing. There's nothing really to add to that. Terrible classes coming at Tennessee. That's just the way it is. It's not just that you fired Lyle in the middle of the season, which is always a risk when it comes to recruiting. It was the way you handled the coaching search. You interviewed and offered this job to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that was willing to come in for an interview. They all told you no. Recruits watch the news. Recruits are on social media. They see that the Tennessee football program has just become the laughingstock of college football, honestly. You try to blame the owner of the Cleveland Browns for everything that's wrong with you, this Haslam joker. You know, he's your biggest booster, your biggest contributor. You know, you blame him, you blame your athletic director Curry, you fire him, you bring fat boy Phil Fulmer back from 10 years ago, you're digging up old bones, you know, moved on. 2008, everything was blame Fulmer, got to get rid of this guy. You know, he lost to Wyoming at home. Y'all ran him out of town on a rail. It's been nothing but disaster after disaster after disaster for Tennessee since then. But you blame Fulmer, ran him off, hired Derek Dooley. You've been blaming Dooley for a decade. You know, blaming him no more. Lane Kiffin comes in. He deuced out on you after 1 year. He was gone. You know, you bring in the band director, Lyle Butch Jones. You know, he ends up being terrible. The guy's a motivational speaker, a car salesman, an insurance salesman. You know, you fire him halfway through this year. Now everything's blame Lyle, blame Curry. You know, blame Haslam, you know, blame everybody. You know, it just gets to the point where you have to look around and go, well, maybe it's not a coaching issue at Tennessee. I mean, maybe this is just what Tennessee is, you know. Tennessee's a 6-7 win program, and in a good year, they can win 8 or 9 games, finish second or third in the East, and make the Outback Bowl. I mean, that might just be what Tennessee is. Tennessee fans really need to adjust their expectations, to be honest. I see Tennessee fans already talking about how they're going to be able to win the East next year, and Jeremy Pruitt's an elite coach, and he's going to do this, and you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Most of these Tennessee fans who are saying this crap haven't even looked at Tennessee's schedule for next year. Either that or they're completely football ignorant, because if you look at Tennessee's schedule next year, I mean, Jeremy Pruitt at best is starting 3-6. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. They open up with West Virginia. Let's say that's a toss-up. Maybe you win it, maybe you lose it, okay? Then you have 2 high school games after that. Nobodies that no one's ever even heard of, directional schools. So let's even just pretend you start 3-0 by beating West Virginia and those 2 high school teams, and you're sitting there at 3-0, right? Well, your next 5 games are Florida, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina. Those are your next 5 games. How many of those are you winning realistically? Maybe 1. Maybe 1. You're not beating Georgia. You're not beating Alabama. All right, let's look at Florida. That's going to be a toss-up. That game's in Knoxville. It could go either way. Maybe you win that one, okay? South Carolina, you've never beat South Carolina. Or you've never beat Will Muschamp. Tennessee's never beat Will Muschamp. I mean, that sounds impossible, but it's true. That's just the reality of the situation. South Carolina is going to be better next year than they were this year. Now, Tennessee may be a little bit better too, because how can they be any worse? They were 0-8, didn't win a single conference game. You're not – right now, no one's picking you to beat South Carolina, I promise you. They're just not. So you're staring down the barrel of – possibly a 2-6 start. If you lose to West Virginia, you could very easily start next season 2-6. If you beat West Virginia, maybe 3-5, something like that. But these fans and their expectations, what's going to happen is Jeremy Pruitt's going to have a rough start because that schedule is brutal, and Tennessee just doesn't have the talent to compete with the upper-end teams in the SEC that they're playing. You're going to start out, you're going to stumble out of the gate, you're going to be, 2-4, 2-5, 3-5, something like 2-5 maybe, something like that. Tennessee fans are going to pitch a fit. They're going to poor pitiful me. They're going to be mad. They're going to blame Pruitt, and you're going to be ruin Jeremy Pruitt before he ever makes it through half of one season. You guys just really need to start adjusting your expectations. It's just beyond sad at this point that Tennessee is still. We're going to win the East. It's next year. Wait till next year, Lou. I mean, people have been waiting till next year since Facebook was invented. Tennessee still can't win the East. So, I mean, what do you want me to do? See if we can find a Brenton Cox feed. No, I don't think Cade will start Rock Nation. I mean, anything's possible, but outside a quarterback, offensive line is probably the hardest position for a true freshman to make that transition from high school to college. What's up, Zach? I saw you say my name there, or hello, whatever. I missed it. It scrolled up, but good morning, sir. UJ's sitting at number 3 right now. Class ranking. Somebody asked Juan Luna. Good morning, sir. Florida national champions in 2023. You think so? Well, that's more realistic. Predicting Florida to win the national title in 2023 is way more realistic than these Tennessee fans saying they're going to win the East next year. Way more. Yeah, I mean, I see a couple of people arguing Clemson, and a couple of Clemson and Alabama fans in here arguing, and someone brought up the Auburn game. And Clemson did struggle in the Auburn game. They won the game 14-6, so not much offensive output there. You can point to some reasons why, I guess. You know, Clemson's quarterback, what was that, his second start? So, you know, I don't know. Hard to take anything away from a game, I guess, that happened the second week of September. But Clemson's offense did not look very impressive in that game. But, you know, that was a long time ago. Clemson's offense has looked pretty good the last half of the season. With the exception of that Syracuse game, their offense has played pretty well. Now, Alabama will be the best defense that they've played, obviously. I can't think of anybody that Clemson has played outside of Auburn whose defense comes anywhere close to Alabama's. And even if you want to argue Auburn has a better defense than Alabama, which could be argued, it's pretty close. You know, you only scored 14 against Auburn. If you score 14 against Alabama, you're losing. I think Clemson is the better team. I've said that a bunch of times. I think Clemson is a better team all around than Alabama. I've said that over and over the last couple of weeks. I do think Alabama has the coaching advantage. They have the coaching advantage every game that they play. And Nick Saban with a month to prepare is scary for an opposing team, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth, which may or may not be much of anything at all. Mays did sign, Caleb. Mays just signed just now. Cox is coming up any minute now. And I'm looking for a stream to flip onto the screen for you guys so y'all can watch the Cox commitment whenever that goes live, which shouldn't be but maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Cade Mays is huge, though. I can't stress enough the importance of having these big guys up front. Whatever the watch says, Tennessee will not win the East till 2048. Tennessee Vols says, Uncle Lou, what do you think of Syracuse versus Tennessee for the title? What title? Life champion title? I think Tennessee – I think Tennessee would beat anybody in America in terms of the Life Championship. I don't think there's a team that can come close to beating Tennessee for the Life Championship. Now, Auburn is giving Tennessee a run for its money. Of course, Auburn is the November champions of the world. You know, they have T-shirts made with the score of when they beat Georgia and Alabama in a meaningless game in November, you know. And now Auburn gets to sit home and watch Georgia play and Alabama play in the playoffs. It's got to be a sickening feeling for these Barners to finally beat. You know, Auburn hadn't beat Georgia or Alabama in 3 years. You know, Georgia and Alabama both beat Auburn the last 3 years. So they were 0 for their last 6, Auburn was, against their 2 biggest rivals. They turned around this year, beat Auburn and Alabama, who were both ranked number 1 at the time that they beat them, right? Beat them in a 3-week period. And then turn around and get absolutely mollywopped by Georgia in the SEC championship game, get left out of the playoff, and then I mean, you think it can't get any worse, and then they put Alabama in at the 4th spot. And you're looking at Auburn fan going, man, if you guys weren't, if Auburn fans weren't such idiots, you could potentially feel sorry for them. I mean, that's got to be brutal. I can't imagine. That's got to be just absolutely brutal. All right, so get your picks in the comments section for Brenton Cox. Is he all dog? Where is he going? Let's get your picks in. Brenton Cox is on the clock. Who does he sign with? Georgia or some other team? Let me know. Auburn could have beat UGA, but they fumbled. Fumbling's a part of football, sir. I mean, Georgia could have beat Auburn in the regular season if we'd scored more. I mean, you see what I mean? That's ridiculous. Well, I'm looking for a Brenton Cox feed, but I don't see one. If anybody in the comment section knows where there's one, let me know, and I'll see if I can't pull it up for you so everybody can watch it. Somebody said Brenton Cox going to Florida. I don't see that happening. Definitely not Georgia Tech. Cox to Kansas. There's a Kansas comment. There's Kansas comments in every single. I love the Kansas comments. They never get old. I can't believe out of all the running jokes or whatever that have ever happened on YouTube over the years, this Kansas one is the one that just won't end. It just refuses to go away. Every single live stream, in the comment section of every video I upload, I mean, it just, you guys never let me down with the Kansas comments. I love it. With this NCAA EA Sports football stream that we're doing at night, did the first one on Monday night, Georgia versus Oklahoma. We stream those 2 or 3 nights a week live here on YouTube. Yeah, subscribe to YouTube right now, by the way, if you're not already. Yeah, you watch YouTube every day. Watch UNCLELOU every day like you're supposed to make you smarter, lower your cholesterol, get you off that Lipitor, which is killing you from the inside out. Yeah. But yeah, so we do the college football streams 2 or 3 nights during the week. I have the updated rosters for all the teams. So they're 2017 rosters on the most recent EA Sports football game, which is 2014 edition. We did Georgia versus Oklahoma on Monday night. Tomorrow night, about 9:30, we're doing Alabama versus Clemson. I'm playing as Alabama. I let one of the viewers decide which team I would play for. Somebody was kind enough to hit the donate button down there on the bottom, that $sign, and donated a couple of bucks to UNCLELOU, so I let him choose which team I would play. He chose Alabama. So I will be Alabama taking on Clemson. That'll be tomorrow night about 9:30 here on YouTube live. Do that 2 or 3 times a week. And we're going to do pretty much all the bowl games, or at least all the big ones between now and when they're played. But during the offseason, once the bowl games are over, we'll do just some random matchups. And with all this Kansas stuff in the comment section all the time, I think it'll be fun maybe if I'm Kansas and I play just some of the elite teams in the game and just see how bad I can get humiliated. I'm going to find it somewhere. They changed it to 3:30. Okay. Well, that's probably why I can't find a stream anywhere then. I thought it was at 3. Well, that explains that then. Well, if it's at 3:30, I'm going to keep the stream going. I'm going to take about a 5-minute break, though. Go inside for a minute. I will be right. I'll be right back, though. 3:30. Yeah, everybody's saying it got moved to 3:30 now. So I'm going to keep the stream going. Don't go anywhere. Or if you have to go somewhere, come back. 3:30. We'll watch this Brenton Cox commitment live whenever it happens. You'll get my immediate reaction to it. We need this guy. Hopefully he signs with UGA. Somebody's going to get a hell of a player, though, at 3:30 when this guy commits. So but y'all stick around. I'll be back in just a second. All right, then. What'd I miss? What'd I miss? Bunch of nothing? All right, where's this Brenton Cox feed at? What? Cox went to Bama. Are y'all trolling? Y'all better not be trolling. Why do I feel y'all making it up? No, he did not. To the Gumps? Y'all are trolling. Y'all are trolling me. Y'all try to set me off? I have ESPN on right here. Like, I figured they would have said something if I missed it. Y'all almost set me. Y'all were close. Y'all were about this close to setting Uncle Lou off. But you didn't. Every time I type in Brenton Cox live to try to find a stream, my own stream I'm doing right now is all that comes up. So, I'm not sure. I haven't missed one yet, though. I've found a stream of every single one today and showed it for you guys. So I'm pretty confident that once it gets close to Brenton Cox making his decision, I'll be able to find a stream of it somewhere to flip over to the screen so you guys can see it too. Yeah, 3:30, that's what I thought. It was supposed to be at 3, and then they said it got pushed back to 3:30. So when I came back, y'all must have hatched some damn plan. Let's screw around with Uncle Lou and tell him Cox picked Bama, see if we can get him to go apes. But most of y'all have seen me go apes before. But if you haven't,
with that being said, for the next
come on!
I'm not only gonna further my academic.
Oh, come on, please! UGA! No! No! What are you doing? Oh my God, no! What are you doing? Aubrey Solomon, listen to me. Listen. People be telling me, Uncle Lou, let go. Let go. He's not coming to UGA. He's not. I said, no, he's coming to UGA. He's a savage. He's going to put up for his hometown team. No, you want to go to, why? You want to go play in the car? Fine. Go to Michigan. Great. Have a great time playing football in the world's largest outdoor refrigerator. What are you, Jim Harbaugh? Really? Is this what you want?
So don't let me down, Mr. Cox, Brenton Cox. Do not let Uncle Lou down. Commit to the G, sir. Commit to the G. Joe Cox. Bama can have Joe Cox. I want Brenton Cox. Anybody can have Joe Cox. He won't be. He wouldn't have been missed. What's up, Brooks? Southern Pride, good morning. Bam Bam, good morning, sir. David, how you doing? David says, how do you feel about UGA chances of signing tight end Luke Ford? Not as good as I don't feel as good about Luke Ford as I did a couple of months ago. We've underutilized our tight ends this year. I'm not complaining. We're 12-1 SEC champs and we're in the playoff. But if you're a tight end looking at Georgia right now and you see a combined 10 catches total maybe for our tight ends this year, you got to be scratching your head if you're a highly rated tight end recruit and asking yourself if you really want to go to Georgia and block for 4 years. So I mean, I hope we get him, but I'm not as confident on him as I once was. KJ Henry. I would love to have KJ Henry. I'm not, percentage-wise, 30%, 25%. I'm not very confident that we will land KJ Henry. If you look back at some of my major meltdowns over the years in terms of recruiting, it's been with guys that I fully expected to commit to UGA, and then for whatever reason they didn't. Demetrius Robertson, Aubrey Solomon, these types of people. If KJ Henry doesn't commit to Georgia, I'm not going to be happy about that, but he's not somebody I'm expecting. That would be a great surprise. Parsons was the same way. Micah Parsons committed this morning to Penn State. I was not expecting Georgia to sign him. It was a want. Georgia wanted him. Obviously, Georgia would have taken him. It's not like with Elijah Moore, or the wide receiver Elijah Moore, who decommitted and signed with Ole Miss. We told Elijah Moore there's just no room for you. We pretty much told him, thanks but no thanks type of thing. That was expected. With Micah Parsons, I never expected to land him to start with, so it wasn't that big of a disappointment to me that he chose Penn State. At least he's not in the SEC type of deal. Same thing with KJ Henry. I'd love to get KJ Henry, but I've never really had anything over a 30 or 35% expectation that we're going to land him. So if we don't, it's not really a shock to me. I do think he's a great player, and I'd love to have him, though. Still no stream up for Brenton Cox. So is it 3:25 now? So we got a few more minutes. I'm still checking, though. If any of you guys come across one anywhere, be sure you let me know, and I can throw it up on the screen for everybody. Yeah, DSGB 2060. Our offensive line, and look, that's where everything starts, is up front in the trenches, right? You got to have those studs up front. That's something we didn't have last year. You can see it starting to come together some this year. Ben Cleveland finally breaking into the starting lineup towards the end of this year. Looked pretty good. The studs that we brought in last year, Isaiah Wilson out of New York, from Brooklyn. I mean, you're talking about a guy 6'6", 340 pounds. Took him a while to get acclimated to the heat down here. I think that slowed down his progression in the offseason and fall camp and preseason practice and stuff like that, he's going to be a beast at left tackle. I mean, the guy is just an absolute animal, Isaiah Wilson. You add Cade Mays to that. You add Trey Hill to that. You add, obviously, Jamari Sawyer to that. Georgia's offensive line is going to be one of the best in the nation, definitely one of the best in the SEC for the next 3 to 4 years, without question. Without question. People ask me all the time, how's Georgia going to deal with losing Chubb and Sony, two of the most productive backs in the history of UGA. Of course, Chubb finishing second all time in the SEC rushing behind only Herschel Walker. You know, what's Georgia going to do? Well, we're not hurting at the running back position. I love Swift. I've always been a Harrion fan. We've got Holyfield, of course, bringing in this class. Zamir White and James Cook, the number 1 and number 4 running backs in America, respectively. So we're not hurting at running back. Even if those guys end up being not quite as good as Chubb and Michelle, I think the offensive line is going to be so much better than what Chubb and Michelle had that those running backs actually have potential to do even better in college than Chubb and Michelle did. Not saying that any of them will or won't be better than Chubb and Michelle, but they will definitely have a better offensive line to run behind, in my opinion. Who's left that we're going for after today? Most of the big targets on Georgia's board were signing today. There's a few that aren't, a handful, 4 or 5, and it's really going to be a numbers game for UGA. The NCAA has capped the number of players you can sign in any given year at 25. Now, that doesn't mean you can sign 25 because you still have that hard cap of 83 scholarships or 85 scholarships, whatever it is, that you can't exceed. So you might only can sign 20, but 25 is the absolute most you can sign no matter how many scholarships you have available, right? So we still don't know yet in terms of juniors who might be going pro. Roquan Smith, a couple of guys on the defensive line could choose to go pro. In other words, we don't really know if we're going to be able to sign that full 25 yet. I'm expecting Georgia to sign somewhere between 23 and 25, depending on which juniors decide to stay and which juniors decide to turn pro, and that will determine which guys we go after going forward for the February signing day. But the huge names that you've been hearing about for months and months and months, Justin Fields, Zamir White, Jamari Sawyer, Trey Hill, Cade Mays, now Brenton Cox, all of these guys have chosen to sign during this early signing period in December. So anything we get between this early signing period and February is really icing on the cake at this point. Dog post Twitter, somebody said. Let me check it out. All right. I found it for you guys. Give me just a second and I'll get it pulled up, okay? All right, here we go. I'll turn it up for you, okay?
Hey, Coach. Coach, this is just before the commercial break, so not the official. I got you.
All right, they're getting ready to start here. I see a Georgia hat and an Alabama hat, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'd be really my guys in high school.
Oh, come on now. Do the right thing, sir. Do the right thing, sir. Dogs. Dogs. Come on, buddy. Don't you let Uncle Lou down. Come on. Man, he'd look good in red and black, wouldn't he? Come on, buddy.
First off, I want to thank my family, I want to thank God, I want to thank all the teachers who pushed me through so I can get to this moment. Really, anybody who helped me get to this moment so I can sign to the school I really want to go to. And I will be spending the next 3 or 4 years of my life at the University of Georgia.
Woo! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Woo! The rich. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, this is bordering on not fair. I mean, Georgia is literally getting every single player that we wanted. Now, this guy, look at this guy. This guy's a beast. I mean, this just isn't fair. If Kirby wants you, you got me drooling. I'm so damn excited. If Kirby wants you, Kirby gets you. It's that damn simple. If you're in the SEC and you're a fan of a team not named the Georgia Bulldogs, then it's just going to be a rough 3 or 4 years for you coming up. It's just that simple. This team is too loaded. I mean, too loaded. This guy obviously made the right decision here. Now, he could have went with Alabama, who are the used-to-be's, or he can get on the Georgia bandwagon and be with the right-nows and the about-to-be's for the next 4 or 5 years, and that's what this guy did. He made a smart decision. He made a smart decision. He made a Kirby decision, too. Yeah, great decision, sir. You obviously have a great head on your shoulders. Brenton Cox, an animal, 6'5", 250, the 5th-rated defensive end in America, number 13 overall in the ESPN 300. This guy's an absolute animal. He's going to fit right in between the hedges, look really, really good wearing this this red and black. This is a huge get for Georgia. The hits just keep on coming for Kirby Smart and UGA. We have completely loaded up today. The number 1 quarterback in America, Justin Fields. Number 1 running back in America, Zamir White. Number 4 running back in America, James Cook. Number 1 offensive guard, Jamari Sawyer. Cade Mays, Trey Hill. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Brenton Cox now, bordering on ridiculous and unfair. Georgia is stacking up a monster here. Georgia is just stacking up a complete monster. Justin Fields, number 1 quarterback. Brenton Cox, number 5 defensive end. Zamir White, number 1 running back. Cade Mays, Adam Anderson, the number 7 ranked. Warren Erickson, another offensive lineman, ranked 11. I mean, it's just Kyrus Jackson, a wide receiver. I mean, these are all top 10 players. Unbelievable. What a day for Georgia, Kirby Smart, and UGA. Alabama, sorry for your loss. The Gumps, look, the Gumps had a great run. I mean, listen. No matter what happens to Alabama in the future, nobody can take away from you, Gumps, what you accomplished from 2009 to 2015. Clemson got you last year. For all intents and purposes, they may get you again this year. If they don't, Georgia will be waiting for you in Atlanta on January 8th. Home game for the Dogs, national title game. But the run is over. Georgia's getting ready to take over the SEC. This recruiting class is unreal. I've never seen anything like this as a Georgia fan. I thought last year's class could never be topped. Wow, was I wrong. This is just unbelievable here. Missed out on Micah Parsons. That's okay. Like I said, never really expected to land him anyway, but this is just bordering on ridiculous now. So I don't know what do y'all say in the comments section there? Y'all let me know. But this is just, I mean, this is just unreal here. Here we go with the Georgia's over to salary cap comments. I addressed that earlier. I don't really want to get into it again. But just because somebody has a good recruiting class doesn't mean they're paying players. Georgia's had top 10, top 15 recruiting classes for the last 10 or 15 years. So it's not like we were Ole Miss where we struggled in the 50s every single year, and then out of the blue we wind up with a 3rd-ranked class. So, accusing UGA of cheating or buying players just out of pure jealousy or whatever is just ridiculous, and you just sound stupid, honestly, when you say that. I don't think Alabama has been cheating and buying players. I don't think Ohio State's been cheating and buying players. I don't think Clemson's been cheating and buying players. Any of these teams that are consistently ranked in the top 5 or 10 in recruiting, I don't think any of them have been cheating and buying players other than Ole Miss. And it was obvious what Ole Miss was doing. I mean, Ole Miss had players getting drafted into the NFL, and on draft night they'd go on the stage and basically admit to getting paid. So that was no surprise. But when you see a team land a bunch of recruits and you just say, oh, well, they're obviously cheating, well, you just don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's just that simple. You sound butthurt. You sound salty. You sound like you're getting ready to take a series of losses to the University of Georgia. Yeah, and if you listen to the recruiting experts, people that know way more about recruiting than Uncle Lou does, I pretty much just react to the news, but you got people that really keep up with this stuff year-round. They say that the 2019 class is will without a doubt be the best class the University of Georgia's ever got. I'm saying the same thing I said last year, right? I don't see how we can get a better class than what we're putting together right now. But if you listen to the people that know what they're talking about, they'll tell you next year's class is set up to be an absolute monster like this one is. But they're saying it's even better. I don't know. I know we've got the top 2 wide receivers for 2019 already committed to Georgia. So the top 2 ranked wide receivers in America for class of 2019 are committed to UGA. We'll see what else we add to that. But, I mean, I don't even want to talk about 2019 right now. 2018 is just unbelievable. I just can't get over it. Justin Fields, Zamir White, James Cook, Cade Mays, Trey Hill, Jamari Sawyer, Brenton Cox. Hell, we even got the number 1 punter, Jake Camarda. I mean, just an embarrassment of riches here. We've got scholarships to spare. You're going out and signing the number 1 punter in America just because you can. Unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. call Feinbaum. I'm not calling Feinbaum. They wanted me to call him yesterday, too. That Matt from Gainesville called into Feinbaum again yesterday crying about Uncle Lou. Don't know if y'all know the whole thing on that. I don't know who this guy is. Matt from Gainesville calls into Paul Feinbaum's show last week, starts crying about Uncle Lou. I'm like, what? People are messaging me. This guy's on the Feinbaum show complaining about you, whatever. Yesterday I'm out to eat. I get a bunch of text messages. Same idiot, and called in again, complaining about Uncle Lou. And, yeah, I called Feinbaum last week after that guy called in. I didn't do it yesterday because I was out to eat, and I'm not calling in. Not calling in today either. I've been when I'm done with this today, I'm pretty much done with Uncle Lou for the day. I've been doing this since 9 o'clock this morning. Well, I mean, I don't mind doing it. I love doing it. But you know, it takes a lot of effort and energy to put something like this on. Is it perfect? No. Is it? Is the quality like watching ESPN or something like that? No, it's not. But I do, to do something like this all on your own, it's just a lot of effort and energy, and I don't have any to spare today to call into Paul Feinbaum, so that's just not happening. Jay Hacks wants to know about KJ Henry. He's a beast. I don't think we're getting him. I'm pleasant surprised if we do. I'm not counting on him, so don't look for any sort of meltdown from me or anything like that if we don't get KJ Henry. I haven't been very high. I mean, I'm high on him. He's a great player. I'd love to have him, but I haven't been very confident in Georgia landing him ever. So if we don't land him, then then that's okay. Well, I mean, not okay. It sounds like I'm down talking. I'm not down talking. And what I'm saying is these freakouts that I have, like Aubrey Solomon and D-Rob, these are players I was convinced were committing to Georgia, and then they didn't, and I lose my mind. KJ Henry, I don't expect him to commit to Georgia. So if he doesn't, I'm not going to go nuts or anything like that. But I would love to have KJ Henry. That guy, I mean, he's going to be a hell of a ball player for sure. I mean, whoever gets him is going to be lucky. That's just what it is. Yeah, everybody make sure at least like the video. That's not too much to ask, is it? For all this entertainment I provide you today, at least like the video, share the video. You should be sharing all the videos. I don't ever ask. Somebody, you watch YouTube, you got these people spend the first minute of every video begging people to share and like and comment and subscribe and all that. I don't ever do that. Once in a blue moon, maybe. So if you're watching right now, hit the like button, subscribe to Uncle Lou, share Uncle Lou videos, watch Uncle Lou every day like you're supposed to. Yeah, it will make you smarter, and most of you already know this, and some of you are living proof of this. But watching Uncle Lou every day will lower your cholesterol, which will get you off of Lipitor, which is just – the Lipitor is just keeping you sick. So the Lipitor is killing you from the inside out. I mean, that's what the pharmaceutical company in this country is designed to do. I don't want to get off on a rant here. If I start talking too much about the pharmaceutical company and all that, I have to go get my tinfoil hat and put it on. I guess I could do that. But the drug industry in this country is not designed to cure you or make you better. It's designed to keep you just sick enough to where you have to keep taking medicine. Mad Dog, thank you, sir. I appreciate the donation. Thank you very much. If there's ever anything Uncle Lou can do for you, let me know. I tell you what, I'll let you decide right now. It's already been decided. I'm doing Clemson and Alabama in a live stream Thursday night, tomorrow night at 9:30. Of course, I have NCAA 14, which is the most recent NCAA game before the lawsuit made it illegal. I've got all the updated rosters for every single team, so it's 2017 rosters. Thursday night, I'm doing Clemson and Alabama. Another guy donated earlier, and I let him pick that one as far as who I was going to be. So I'm going to be Alabama. I'm going to play Clemson. That's tomorrow night at 9:30 live here on YouTube. I will let you, sir, pick the next game that I stream after that. So Mad Dog 51. The game that I stream after that, the choice is yours, sir. I'm not sure yet which day that will be. It'll either be Sunday or Monday, though. Sunday night or Monday night. When I stream. Thursday night is Clemson, Alabama. The next time I do the video game live stream will be either Sunday night or Monday night. Mad Dog, it's up to you. You get to pick the game. Only stipulation, it's got to be one of this year's bowl games, because that's sort of my idea that I'm doing with this video game series that I have going, is I'm streaming as many of the big bowl games as I can. So you name the bowl game, Mad Dog 51, and Uncle Lou will stream it for you either Sunday night or Monday night. Thursday night, Clemson, Alabama. But the next one after that will be Sunday night or Monday night. Mad Dog, you can pick the bowl game. So let me know in the comments section. Peach Bowl. That's Auburn and Central Florida. All right. So I will do the Peach Bowl. That will be Sunday night or Monday night. Thursday, Clemson versus Bama. Live streamed here on YouTube for you. Sunday night. I'll go ahead and say I'll do it Sunday night. I'll just decide now. So Sunday night will be the Peach Bowl. Auburn versus the University of Central Florida. Streamed live for you here on YouTube. Be Central Florida. I don't know who I'll be yet. Yeah, Barners versus the Knights. Barners versus Central Florida. Whee! Yeah, so that'll be a good one. That'll be a fun one to play. Central Florida's got a wide-open offense, so we'll see if they can pass the ball around on Auburn or not, or if Auburn's defense is too much for them and just shuts them down. We'll see. I don't know what team I'll be yet. I'll either be Auburn or Central Florida, obviously. I don't know yet which one I'll be. So, oh, yeah, Monday. Yeah, scratch that. It won't be Sunday night either. Sunday night is Christmas Eve, so it won't be Sunday or Monday. So I'm doing, what am I doing? Doing Clemson and Alabama on Thursday. So, well, either Friday night or Saturday night then. How about that? Saturday night. Saturday night I'll do the Peach Bowl. Yeah, I got kids. I got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, so I won't be out here live streaming a video game on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So we'll do it Saturday night. So Thursday night, Clemson versus Bama, Uncle Lou live stream 9:30. Saturday night will be Uncle Lou live stream Peach Bowl, Auburn versus Central Florida. I'm going to write that down now, too, because I'll be done forgot. So Saturday night, Peach Bowl. All right. Boss Hog donated $2. What do you want, Boss Hog? Play as UCF. Gotcha. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, too, for the donation. So, and I'm playing as UCF. All right. All right, I got it written down, so no excuses about forgetting. Uncle Lou, stream the Peach Bowl Saturday night. Play as UCF. All right, so I've got it written down, so there's really no excuse. So Thursday night, Clemson versus Bama. And I am going to be Bama. That's also per request. I better write that down. I might forget that, too. So Bama. That's on Thursday night. Saturday night, we'll do the Peach Bowl, Central Florida versus Auburn. I'll be Central Florida, see if we can whip the Barners with a nobody team. That's the plan. I'll still do the live stream Saturday morning, too. I do a live stream every Saturday morning. It's not the college football video game. It's basically just me sitting here ranting and raving about like a lunatic about whatever it is that happens to be on Uncle Lou's mind. Mostly college football, but anything else that's on my mind, too. I think last week we talked a lot about the Star Wars movie. But anyway, that'll be Saturday morning at the usual time, which that show starts Saturday morning between 9 and 9:30. 3-star offensive tackle Bo Alexander commits to Houston. Thank you, Awesome 4, for keeping us updated on all the Houston Cougars news. Thank you. Cox is the 6th 5-star. I predicted this morning that Georgia would get 6 5-stars. Some of you probably are on my Facebook page. Some of you are on my Twitter or whatever, but I did predict this morning that UJ would get 6 5-stars. And I haven't been adding it up throughout the day, but I'll take this guy's word for it here. It says that gives Georgia 6 for the day. Gator Chomp gave $5. Bless you, sir. Y'all got a good one in Emory Jones now. Respect your love for the dogs. You deserve more followers. We might be rivals, and I hate your guts. But much love. I completely understand that, Gator Chomp. And, hey, most people that watch Uncle Lou for more than 1 or 2 videos, they figure it out pretty quick. I don't hate any of you guys. I don't hate Tennessee fans. Some of my best friends that I've met through this whole Uncle Lou thing are Tennessee fans. If people just give Uncle Lou some time, they figure it out pretty quick. You know, this is for entertainment. To me, you can't separate trash talk from college football. To me, trash talk is just a part of college football. It's part of what makes college football, in my opinion, the best sport in the history of mankind. And there's not even a close second place, in my opinion. And trash talk is just part of that to me. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy talking football with you guys. I enjoy arguing with opposing fan bases. I enjoy arguing with Georgia fans. That's another thing you guys know if you've been watching for a while. I'm not afraid to call out a Georgia player. I'm not afraid to call out a Georgia coach. And I'm not afraid to call out a Georgia fan. And I've done it plenty of times. And I'll continue to do it. So, yeah, I really appreciate you all watching. It was a long day today, but it was worth it. I had a great time. Congratulations to everybody's team. I said this first thing this morning, and I'm going to end by saying this again now. Signing day for college football is like Christmas for little kids, right? You follow these recruits in high school from their sophomore, junior, and senior year. You watch their highlight tapes on YouTube for, you know, hundreds of times over. You know, you imagine these recruits and what they would look like in your team's uniform and playing in your home stadium and all these kinds of things. And then on signing day, you have your list, right? You have your want list, just like my kids have their Santa list. You know, these are the players you want. These are the toys you want on Christmas morning, right? And signing day is Christmas. You finally get to open up those presents. You get to unwrap all those gifts, and you get to see which of your wants you actually get to play with for the next 3 to 4 years, you know, depending on how long these kids decide to stay at your program, right? So signing day is Christmas morning for grown-ups, right? So I hope the recruiting Santa Claus brought your team some of what you wanted. Nobody gets everything they want, but no matter what team you root for, I hope you got some of what you want today. And keep in mind, there's still another couple of months of this recruiting cycle. We've got another signing day coming up in February. So it's not over. It's not over by a long shot. So, again, congratulations to all the recruits, all the high school kids, all these players whose dreams really have come true today by signing with a college program. A full scholarship to a major university is a big deal. Whether you're a football player, a baseball player, an academic scholarship, whatever it is, to get an opportunity to attend a college for 4 years for free, receive a degree, and play a game that you love is an opportunity of a lifetime. And so congratulations to all these recruits, all these high school kids. Congratulations to all the fan bases, like I said. I hope everybody got some of what they wanted. And we got another couple of months to go before this recruiting class is finalized. That's it for today. I'll have a video, a bowl preview up tomorrow morning. I guess I'll do the I want to do the Notre Dame LSU preview tomorrow. So I think I'm going to preview the Notre Dame LSU game tomorrow morning. That won't be a live video. I'm just going to record that one and upload it to YouTube tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night at around 9 or 9:30, I will have the EA Sports NCAA 14 Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Clemson, with completely updated 2017 rosters. Uncle Lou is going to play as the Alabama Crimson Tide. That was picked by a watcher earlier today during this live stream. And then Saturday night, we will be live streaming the Peach Bowl, Auburn versus Central Florida, and Uncle Lou will be Central Florida. So that's the plans for the next couple of days. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope y'all have a great morning, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.